Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sewing the cutest shirt dress for a 1-year-old girl. It's perfect for sunny days. Stay tuned for all the steps so you can make this charming outfit too. So I have here two beautiful pieces of fabric that I'll be using to design this dress. They are all cotton fabrics, so I'm going to go ahead and then cut out the pieces so we can start stitching the dress together. So I've cut out two long strips of fabric. This is what I'll be using for the top of this dress. This fabric is 6 inches in length and 26 inches in width. So I'm going to separate these two pieces of fabric. Then I'll head to my sewing machine and then just clean the top part of this fabric this way. So I'll fold it in twice, 1/4 inch twice, and then stitch it down at the top this way, just to give it a clean finish at the top. So I'll repeat the same process for the other strip of fabric. I'll fold it in, stitch from one end to the other. So I'm done stitching it. Remember to give the fabric a good press. This is what the fabric pieces look like, and this is what the back looks like as well. It's looking very neat and beautiful. So I'm going down by 1/2 inch from the top, and then I'll mark 1/2 inch across, connect all the points with a straight line, and keep marking 1/2 inch until I get to the hem of this fabric. So I'll be repeating the same process for the other piece of fabric as well. I am leaving a gap of 1/2 inch on each of these lines that we'll be sharing on the sewing machine. So go ahead and then input it and then connect the dots with a straight line to create the channel. This will help me so I can easily see and create a neat shirt dress. So I'm done creating the lines, and we'll stitch them down on the sewing machine. So this is the elastic thread I'll be using for making this shirt dress. I have already fed my bobbin with this elastic thread. So I'll start stitching the first line, and as I'm stitching, it will just be gathering to create that beautiful gathered effect we want to see on the top part of this dress. So when I'm done with the first line, I'll move on to the second. So while I'm stitching the second, I would also be stretching out the fabric so the gathers can form beautifully. So I'll just repeat this until I get to the hem of the top part of this dress, and repeat the same process for the other fabric as well. So I'm creating both the piece I'll be using for the front and then the back. So I'm done creating. This is what they look like. It's looking beautiful. When I stretch it, you can see that gathered effect on the fabric. So I'll set this aside so we can work on the bottom part of this dress. So for the skirt, I have here the floral fabric I'll be using. There are two pieces here. I'll be using one for the front and then one for the back skirt of this dress. This fabric is 23 inches in width and 10 inches in length. So I'm going to head to my sewing machine and then draw gathers on the top part of this fabric, for both the front and then the back, from one end through to the other end. So I'm done creating the gathers. This is what the skirt looks like. So I'm going to measure what I have here. For the waist area, I have 13 inches for the gathered waist of this skirt. So I'll bring in my shared top fabric, and then I will be joining the waist of this skirt to the top of the dress on the sewing machine. So I will stitch from one end to the other. So this has formed one full piece of dress. I'll be repeating the same process for the other skirt piece and then top. I'll stitch it down on 1/2 inch for both sides of the dress. So I'm done stitching the two. This is what they look like. I have one full piece now. I've joined the top to the skirt at the waist area. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll be joining them on the sides. I'll do that by attaching the front to the back, right side facing right side. Align them properly on the sides and then stitch them down on the sewing machine by 1/2 inch. So I'll stitch the other side down as well. So this is what we have here. I have stitched the sides of the dress, and this is what it looks like. We have one full cute and beautiful dress. So the next thing we'll do is to concentrate on working on the straps for the dress. So for the straps, I've cut out 2 pieces of fabric for the straps, 1 strap for each side. The length of the strap is 7.75 inches, almost 8 inches in length. And then I have the width of this strap to be 4 inches. So what I did was I folded in 1 inch from the sides of this strap and then folded it again. So I'll head to my sewing machine and then stitch this down from the top to the bottom. So remember, I folded in 1 inch on each side and then folded everything together to form one beautiful piece. Then I would enclose it on the sewing machine. So I'm done with the straps. This is what they look like. We are going to fix them on this dress to complete our outfit. It's that simple. To fix this strap, I'm going to measure what I have at the chest area of this dress. So I'll bring in my measuring tape, and then when I measured, I had 10 inches. I'll divide this into 2, that is 5 inches, and then I'll mark the midsection on this dress. From that midsection, I will go out by 2.5 inches and then mark. This is where I will be stitching my straps. And on the other side of the dress, I'll mark in 2.5 inches. And then I would repeat the same process for the back of this dress. Measure the chest, divide by 2, get the midsection, go in by 2.5 away from the midsection of this dress. And we have our area that we are going to be stitching our straps. So I'll bring in my strap, place it about 1/2 inch from the chest of this dress, and then I will hold the straps down with pin, and I'm pinning on that 2.5 mark we made on this outfit. So I'll repeat the same process for the other strap as well. Place it on the 2.5 inch mark and then pin it down. So when I'm done pinning one side, I will turn over to the other side of this dress, and then I would place the straps down, and then I would head to my sewing machine, stitch them down. So I've stitched them down. This is the dress, looking so gorgeous. The last thing we are going to do is to finish off the hem of this dress. This I will be doing by folding in about 1/2 inch twice on the hem, and then I will stitch it down to complete the dress on the sewing machine. And it's that simple. We are done. This is the final work. This is the perfect dress for summer for a 1-year-old baby girl. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do not forget to hit on the subscribe button, like our videos, comment, and then keep sharing till we meet again. Thank you so much for watching.